In this video, we're going to go over the Production Possibilities Frontier, which I've abbreviated to be PPF for short. We're going to cover the PPF using an example that you guys are probably familiar with. We're going to use a student, so a person, rather than a firm or economy, and we're going to focus on the output combinations that a student has in a given week, their available resources. So our available resources as students is pretty much just our time. If you take an average student at Laurier, we all have the same resources, whether you're using Prism, Bloomberg, what have you, but the only real available resource that we can vary, I guess is the right word, is our time. So for our example, we are going to put, let me make sure we got this right here. We're going to have 20 hours a week. And in this 20 hours, we have a combination, we have the possibility of either finishing assignments, which I will title A, or reading, again, the chapters that our professors assign us, so I'll title that C. And again, so with the 20 hours, we can have a combination of different outputs that we choose based on the time that we allocate to each. So in a week, if we assign 20 hours to just assignments, we're able to get 4 complete. And of course, if we're doing 20 hours of worth of assignments, we have no time to do chapters, so we have to get 0 chapters done. Now, alternatively, we could choose to do 3 assignments, and that would leave some time for us to read some of our assigned chapters. And if we do that, we can read 5 chapters. Now, let's say the assignments aren't necessarily due this week, so you choose to do less this week than you usually, or you might want to, or need to. You would choose to get potentially 2 assignments done, and you would get 8 chapters read. And now this can keep going on, where you do one assignment and you read 10 chapters, and all the way down to 0 assignments and 11 chapters. And again, I really want to emphasize the point that these points, 4 assignments and 0 chapters, 3 assignments and 5 chapters, are not points that you can have simultaneously. They're not independent of one another, in the sense that if you choose to have 4 assignments done and 0 chapters read, it's physically impossible for you to get another 3 assignments and 5 chapters. So your 20 hours, or your available resources, or depending how you vary their allocation or how you use them, will get you different output combinations. Again, output combinations. So now what we're going to do is we are going to plot these points on a graph. And we'll do that. Oops. Because this is how it will normally be presented, so we'll do it this way. And plus, I think it helps visually understand. So on the x-axis, I'm going to label it over here. I'll label that C for chapters. And on the y-axis, I'll do assignments. Again, it'll be A. And let's say for assignments, let's go up by 1s. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. And on the x-axis for chapters, we'll go up by 2s. All right, so we got 12 and we got 4 assignments. So we'll start by plotting these points, where we got our first output combination, I guess, 4 assignments and 0 chapters. So, oops, forgot. Obviously 0 is at the origin. I'll just put that right there. So if we are going to draw our first point, 4 assignments, 0 chapters, that would correspond with this point right here. And then if we did 3 assignments and 5 chapters, that would be somewhere in here. And then if we did 2 assignments and 8 chapters, it would be right here. 1 assignment, 10 chapters, and then 0 and 11. Okay, so now what we can do is we can, let me change my pen here. We can draw a line connecting our y-axis, where we have 4 assignments, 0 chapters, to the other case where we do all chapters and no assignments. We can draw a line through all the points that we have, and that will create our PPF, or Production Possibilities Frontier. It's not exactly through the 1 point, so let me just touch that up really quick. It's not perfectly drawn, but you should get the gist. Okay, and what this represents is exactly what the title of PPF stands for, is our Production Possibilities Frontier. So what we're given our 20-hour week, 20 hours a week, and given what outputs are possible for us, these are all the points on this line that we are able to achieve. So for what I chose, 4 assignments, 3 assignments, 2 assignments, those are even integers, but it's also possible, it's important to note that it's also possible to get 3.5 assignments. And let's say, so if you had 3.5 assignments, that would correspond with roughly, I don't know, 4 chapters, right? That's another possible outcome if we allocate our 20 hours differently. Just for simplicity, I decided to keep the integers even, but yeah, you can still have half integers, I guess, or not full integers. So the other important thing to note, and this kind of leads us into our next video, is that we have points in here which are not on the Production Possibility Frontier, but they're also achievable. The only difference is that somewhere in here, so I don't know, let's say 2 assignments and 4 chapters read, that's possible with our 20 hours, but it's not ideal, because whether we chose 2 assignments, we should be able to read 8 chapters if we allocated our 20 hours properly. But a point here clearly shows that we haven't. So that kind of leads us into our next video, so I'm not going to get into it too much here. The main idea is that you understand that given our available resources, and we have different output combinations, which are listed here, that we can achieve depending on how we allocate them. That's it for this video. In the next one, we're going to talk about some of the other key terms listed above and start to relate them to the PPF. This should just start to tie everything together so you can start to get a better idea of what's going on.